So continuation after doing the front fenders, I'll show you guys. I did this front fender over here with rust converter, so that turned out really nice. You can see where it hasn't been electrolysis dipped, so what I'll do is I'll just dip a little bit in the electrolysis tank, and then I'll just I'll give it a little bit of electrolysis a few days, and then the same on that one. But I have not done this one yet. I ran out of rust converter, so and I'm going away tomorrow, so I'll do this next week when I'm back. I'll go and get some more rust converter, and then get this one also looking like that. Once they are like that, they pretty much stay like that for a long time. I think it's got phosphoric acid in the rust converter, which it stops it from continuing to rust for a while. So yeah, the plan is that I'll do the rust repair there. Focus. I'll do the rust repair where need be over there on the tops. There's a little bit over there where I need to make up that. There I need to do a little bit. So I'll do all the little bits of rust repair that need to be done, and then I will put etch primer over the whole panel. Once all the rust is fixed and I've dipped that, then I will just put everything in etch primer, then it's done. And then yeah, that's the plan for those two front fenders. Like I said, waiting for the parts cab, which I'll fetch New Year's. Yeah, so it's the 6th, no, what is today's date? 7th of December. So I'm gonna go down for New Year's and go and fetch the parts cab. So great New Year's for me. And then I'll bring that back, and then I can start to plan which panels I can use, floor, whatever. But for now, I'm busy tackling this door. So this door had a huge, about ½ an inch of body putty covering that. I knew about that, but this was covered up with body putty. So I pulled all that off. Obviously, there's no access, so I have just made myself a little bit of access. I did this because all I do now is I will bend that back down, weld that up, give it a bead over where I've bent it so that that doesn't fatigue off. Again, now that I've got a bit of access, I will put in rust converter like I did with the bonnet, and then etch primer just to try and save these as long as possible, because obviously there is no paint in from factory, although it hasn't rusted, focus, terribly. There was a spot weld there, so I'll just give that a plug weld after I've welded that up. So it'll be structurally exactly the same as when I cut the thing apart. So the plan is that I've made this tool over here. I don't know if this is going to work. Again, it works in my brain. So I'm going to now put that in there. You can, okay, let me just work on my table. So door handle I've put into this groove, so I can now get that perfectly flat. You can see where the dent is, so I'm going to push that out as far as the table, all the way, so I can rock the door back and forth. I'll probably need someone to help me with the door, or I'll use my leg, or I'll do some like gymnastics or something, and then I'm going to push that through. This dent is actually more difficult to access than this one, because I've now cut this open, but there's also inner structure right above this dent that supports this whole situation. So I actually, and it's not close to the outer skin. It's quite far away. So I can't cut the outer skin back and then cut the inner brace, because the inner brace is actually quite far below. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in from here, and then I'm gonna probably put a crowbar in hooking that. Sorry, so I'll put that in like that, okay? Get it to the dent. Then I'll put a crowbar in from there, which is the nice big naturally made access hole. I'll put a crowbar in there, and then I'll probably just hit the crowbar, and then that, and I'll get someone to help me with this, but we'll push it down. Once it's pushed down, I rather push it too much. This is my thinking again. I'm not a sheet metal guy, but I'm making sure I'm not stretching this, because I know that once you stretch steel, that's a problem. So everything I'm doing is hammer off dolly. So I'm not pinching my hammer. I'm not pinching the steel between my hammer and dolly like this. If the dolly is over here, I'm hitting here to just work like that. So I'm doing a lot of hammer off dolly work. so that I don't stretch the metal. And again, I don't need a perfect finish on this. It's a patina build, so I'm just wanting to get it a little bit better than ugly, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, so I'm thinking if I get everything further out than need be, I can then get my arm in here, I can get my arm in here with a dolly, and I can hold it down and I can push it back with a hammer. I have been watching a lot of Kyle from Canada. I think his channel's name is Carter Auto Body Repairs or something like that. Super cool guy. And he goes into a lot of he does a lot of this sort of stuff, super rough. Also a lot of Chevy. He does 48 Chevy, 48 through to 54 Chevys, a lot of them, and he's just finished a 66, which is the same body style except for the windscreen pretty much. And his one was way worse than mine, so I watched the whole series of those videos, and yeah, look, I mean, he didn't have a door that was messed up, but I've learned quite a lot about sheet metal work, I would say, what sort of not to do. So that's what I'm gonna try and do. So I'm gonna start out with this because I can do this alone. I can get to that dent, and I'm gonna knock that down to the table and see how that goes, and then I will tackle this when I have some help, but that'll probably only be next week. Anyway, thought I'd show you guys why I've cut my door apart. This door does not match the paint, so what I'm going to do is, I actually don't know how I'm going to get this to match. I definitely don't want to remove the rust, so I'm thinking I'll just probably give it a good clean. Then I'll get some paint mixed up of that color. Paint, I can borrow the guy next door, he's a spray painter, so I'll borrow his airbrush, and I will just airbrush over everywhere where there is white paint. I'll sort of miss where there's not, and then I'm going to leave it so that if I do spray over any rust, hopefully that rust does come through, and then when I'll use this stuff here. What is this? These SOS pads. We call it steel wool. Anyways, when I SOS the whole thing down, then hopefully the paint comes off of the rust, so that rust can come through. Then I get my patina, and happy days. I'm hoping that works. I'll see. I'll try a little bit, and then if that doesn't work, I will do a bit more research, because then I actually don't know what to do. Anyways, I'm gonna start tackling this door because I have nothing else to do. Cool. So I must say I'm quite impressed. I don't know if the sheet metal guys are going to be too impressed with my methods, but I'm fairly impressed. That is much better. I can now get a hammer and dolly in there, and I can just work out some of that weirdness. Guys, that was not me, by the way. All this weird stuff going on over there, it was like that. You can see they've drilled holes to try and get the putty to adhere. So yeah, and then there's a dent which I can now push back in. So I can get a dolly in there, start pushing everything back. I was trying to get, no, I don't have a arm. I was trying to get that out a little bit more. Yeah, just so that I can push everything back, but it's as good as I can get it. There's very limited access here because of the door support. So anyways, I'll say that was a success. So now it's just that one over there, which I am going to battle with because the access is very limited. That one, the access was great, actually, much better than I thought it would be. But I'm going to pop that out, and then I will just hammer dolly everything all at once so that I can get into it and just work it. So I'm going to try that now. I don't know how far I'm going to get, but let's see. Well, All right, so that came out fairly good. I'm pretty happy with that. I popped that out. As you could see, what I was doing is I would put the crowbar. I have a few crowbars, but I just found the bluntest one that I have. So I'd put that edge over there up, and then I'd rest the curved edge up on the high spots, and then I'll just hit it. Obviously, there's a lot of leverage, so it took a while, but eventually popped all that out. So I'm quite happy with that. Now I can come in here and hammer and dolly. I can work all that smoother. You can see there's a lot of funny things going on there from when it was all pushed in. And I don't know what they tried to do in order to get it out, but they've chiseled away at it. Yeah, then I can push that back in, and then I can work these edges over here out a little bit, get that nice and smooth again. And then, yeah, that's then pretty much the panel beating done on this door, and then I have to start doing rust repair. I have to make up this section over here, I have to make up that in there, and then I just saw now the whole door skin at the bottom. Hold on, sorry for weird angles. The whole door skin at the bottom here is completely separated. I should have probably seen that before, but I only saw it now. So I don't know, I'll have to just evaluate and see what the door skin inside is looking like, and see if I need to actually just take this, replace this whole bottom piece, or if I should just fix this piece going in. I'll have to see what needs to be done there. But yeah, I think for where I live, it's a usable door. We don't have a lot of parts for these things lying around. Everything was crushed and shipped to China like 20 years ago. So finding this stuff is pretty impossible, especially the shape, the 60 to 63 with the curved windscreen. Oh, had a check. With a curved windscreen is pretty rare in our country. You get quite a lot of the 66, well, yeah, 60, 64 through to 70, 67, whatever, that shape. The shape after this, get quite a lot of that stuff, but not much of this. Anyways, blabbing on again. I'm going to start hammer dolly work and just start working everything out. Seeing where I can get with it. We don't have electricity at the moment, so I'm just burning time while we can't do any work. Okay, so very unconventional tools being used here, but I am getting it. I think I'm pretty happy with this. I've tried to iron out as much as possible, but underneath here I have absolutely no access from the back. What I have been doing is I've been using this same tool that I made, putting it in the access hole underneath there, and then sort of just finding out where it is, and then panel beating down, using this as the dolly. So, but yeah, it's not terrible. I would say it's pretty good. Yeah, again, it's patina, so I'm gonna leave it at that. It's not all dented and graunched anymore. A little bit over there, but I see that as character. I might just weld those two holes up. We'll see. Probably will, just to prevent any further rust. Got those out. Those were fairly easy because I had to just push that down. I had a little bit of oil canning over here, but yeah, once I'd pushed, so I worked this out, and then I had oil canning, and then once I'd pushed those dents down and worked that round back, that is now firm, which is quite cool. Again, this is not perfect. I cannot get in here. I've done the best I can. But you know what? It's nice. You know, I think that looks quite nice. Not nearly as bad as it was. And then from here, I think from about here, the outer skin is all messed up on the inside here, so I have to replace that anyway. So I'll replace that whole corner. Luckily, it's just formed, so I'll be able to just make a patch panel for that. And then over here, I'll make this piece that goes around there, and then I'll make the inside piece, and whatever structure needs to be built back up, I'll do all of that. But yeah, there's quite a lot of, this whole corner's like a lot of rust repair, and then obviously here always in the same places. So yeah, but that's the panel beating work done on this door, and I'm quite happy about that. What I did, I think you'd have seen, is I had the door upside down, and then I put the crowbar in, and then I would hit the crowbar so that it would push down on that dent, and that's how I got that done. So yeah, very unconventional methods of sheet metal work, but yeah, definitely wouldn't fly in a body shop where you're looking for a perfect finish, but for what I'm looking for, I think I'm doing okay.